for the visiting Golden State Warriors. At small forward, Gary Payton II. Let's meet the starting five for your Portland Trail Blazers.
And now the Golden State Warriors starters. Payton is out there with Butler. And it's Green. And it's Curry. And it's Lopez. And at the 2 guard. And for the Trailblazers, the guard pair are Henderson and Sharp. Avdia is out there with Klingon. And it's Kamare in at the 3, the small forward. Here we are, Greg, in Game 1 of the NBA season. How does opening night feel different from the rest of the season, the rest of the schedule?
Well, Kevin, it's the excitement of the unknown. Everybody comes in with the highest of expectations, right? You got new teammates, some new wrinkles, still a lot to figure out and shake out over the course of a long season.
Here's Lopez with the 3. Rebound by the Trailblazers. Here matched up against the Golden State Warriors is how they're going to tip off the new season.
The game is the first of a 3-game season series for these clubs, both looking to take round 1.
I don't know if I'm going to call these guys rivals, but as conference opponents, they're still familiar with each other. Neither team will want to give an inch in this first meeting.
And so it's Avdia with it. He brings it up for the Trailblazers. Drills it from outside.
And nice work on the perimeter. Defenses must respect Sharp's range.
With a short break in the action gives us a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge.
Chauncey Billups and I got a chance to talk for a bit. We talked about the respect he has for Jimmy Butler and everything that Jimmy Buckets brings to the table. He told me Butler's special. He impacts the game with the ball, without the ball, and with his defense. But he said as much of a challenge as Butler presents, he'll be ready. Guys?
Thank you, David.
I know it's early, but going 0 for 4 to start a game can make a team get a little bit tight.
And the basket is good. Sharp's got 7 points in the game.
It just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Brent with Avdia, there's a versatility to his game that not many players can claim.
Yeah, Kevin, it's a great point. He does things on both ends. Sometimes defensively it goes unnoticed, but this guy can play a lot of different positions and is very skilled. He contributes in a lot of ways to his team.
Here's Henderson. Jimmy Butler making his last shot. Back to Henderson. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint. Well, he wants to shoot his way out of this cold spell, but the struggles continue.
Yeah, he's got to move on, forget about this sequence here, and try to find a way to get on the board.
Now Klingon after the missed 3 from Lopez. And it's out of bounds. The Trailblazers able to retain possession here. Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter.
And despite that miss, a strong start for them offensively.
Launches it. Avdia with the rebound. Avdia's got 4 rebounds in this game. Payton against Sharp. They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Curry. Drops in the breakaway lane.
Well, I like it when Steph uses some of that quickness and craftiness on the defensive end.
And the first time out of the game called here for the Trailblazers. With so many years in the NBA, you would think Curry would slow down, wouldn't you, Brent? But he remains at the very top of his game.
I think the best part about what we're seeing with Steph right now, Kevin, is his competitive thrill. You get to this.
Here's Henderson. They lead by their biggest margin of the game, 9. Setting the floor for the Warriors. Curry is out there with MP. Then it's Kuminga. Then it's Kevon Looney. And it's Butler in at the 3 slot. Outside, Kuminga. To the paint. Here's Looney. Yep, that one goes.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Portland leading by 7. Henderson outside. And Simons wide open. He'll fight. And the 3-ball is good.
Well, this is one of Simons' strengths, just an outstanding shooter from behind the arc.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
And the basket by Curry.
I mean, the number of points they've scored in the paint already here is eye-opening.
That's a 2 from Simons. And again, it's Portland converted.
And Simons right now just assertive and confident in his offensive game.
Warriors trail by 10. Curry passes to Lopez. From beyond the arc. Avdia with the rebound.
Yeah, we're chipping some orange paint off the rim here, guys. He must be more patient on offense and trying to find ways to penetrate inside and get closer to the rim.
Curry passes to Butler. And it's Ayton with the rebound. Ayton's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Henderson outside. The kick out to Walker. Back to Henderson. Clock at 6. Good ball movement here by the Trailblazers. They get it back. Ayton fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So 1 free throw coming up.
If Ayton continues to use his frame like that and stays active, that's a good sign.
Trailblazers making a switch here. Kamar is checked in. Green is checked in for the Warriors. Gary Payton comes in for Kuminga. The NBA scoring explosion, Brent, hasn't slowed down. We're getting record-setting offenses, it seems like, every single season.
Yeah, Kevin, lots of factors going into that. Obviously, more three-pointers being taken and figuring out the math of the game. But let's give credit to the players and the work that they're doing in the offseason in terms of getting better with their skill to be able to shoot that basketball and seek out the most efficient shot on the court.
There's Lopez with the 3. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in. And here's Henderson. He'll bring it up for the Portland Trailblazers. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. And that's out of bounds. It was last touched by Avdia.
And a chance here to check out some stats for Avdia. Last year, getting it done. Averaged about 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. And he's a nice scoring threat in their second unit, a guy who provides instant offense.
And he has really settled into this role. For some guys, maybe him, they'd rather come off the bench and do their damage.
Now a timeout called by Portland. Hey, Brent, what's one area where we really see these Portland Trailblazers excelling?
Well, they're great on the offensive glass. They have presence on the inside. They have a ton of focus on just collecting rebounds. So great at retrieving those misses.
With the break in the action, let's show you the teams with the most second chance points last year. The Trailblazers third. Number 5, the Warriors.
And this is a battle today between 2 teams that really dominated the offensive glass a year ago. And they also convert when they get those second chance opportunities.
Green against Simon. That one's in there, and the Portland lead is cut down now to just 7 on the bucket from Green. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Warriors.
They're really mucking things up for the opposition, racking up steal after steal, just not letting them develop any kind of offensive rhythm.
They've also done a great job of taking turnovers and producing out of that, working really hard that they're not wasting extra chances that they're creating.
And it's blocked.
And hard work on the glass. Once again, guys, they put a lot of effort and focus on the backboard.
Simon's on the wing, guarded by Green. Pass to Klingon. And that time, also a missed shot. Warriors trail by 7. Butler finds Lopez. Curry on the wing. And the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
Yeah, how about that finish by Steph there? He's just a master at altering his shot after he hears the whistle and gets the contact.
first half of action in what's been a very close game here. It's the Trailblazers. They lead by 2.
44. The Warriors. 42.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. Shaedon Sharpe really making a difference here.
Really impressed with the shot selection through the first half. Just taking what he can get from the defense.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to the first half. I'm wondering, did he take a low percentage shot? Everything efficient.
The guard pair are Henderson and Sharpe. Swinging is out there with Avdia. And it's Kamare in at the small forward position. So that's who Chauncey Billups starts the second half with. And it's Sharpe missing.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint. You've got to give them a lot of credit for just battling back into the team.
Well, there's an ebb and a flow. They had a hard time earlier, but now, flow.
Lopez, no good on the free throw. Break since reaching 5 consecutive NBA Finals. The Warriors have missed the playoffs 3 of the past 5 years.
And to be fair, they did go 46-36 last season. They were 10 games over 500 last year. So they weren't a bad team, but Golden State doesn't just expect to be in the play-in. They want to be a contender. I wonder what the score would be if they weren't controlling the backcourt.
Making the easy shots and the tough shots. He's on top of his game.
Curry kicks to Lopez. And again, no good by Golden State.
And they're 1 of 4 here to start the second half.
Here's Avdia. Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a three-point play.
Great effort by Avdia to finish off that play.
Simons, he's checked in for Portland. I'm told now by our producer, do we have them, guys? Okay, we do. We have a call coming in from Shams Charania. Shams, thanks for joining us. What do you have?
Well, guys, the Blazers with the draft night trade for two-way wing Deni Avdia, a young but established player on a value contract. Portland's added a guy who should help them win now and down the line. Guys, it appears Avdia is going to be a pretty seamless fit for Portland.
Okay, thank you, Shams. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. It seems likely that the Warriors' title run under Steph Curry, Brent, is probably come to a close.
I'm not going to count Steph Curry out quite yet, Kevin, but you know they have added some quality youngsters. They're trying to grow that group. How fast can they bring those kids along to championship caliber players? That's the big question. They're going to win their share of games.
He just doesn't look like himself this quarter. Something's missing.
Well, he's missing, and it's starting to affect a little bit in his body language, and you just don't want to see that.
Here's Simons. And the rebound goes to the Warriors. It's off to Utah after this game, where they'll face the Jazz. That'll be the second of this 2-game road trip.
He's going to be shaking his head on that one. Knows he missed an easy one.
Yeah, you can't make them all, and you for sure you'll want him taking that kind of shot.
And it goes down 2 points.
An exciting player coming into his own. We're seeing all of what Sharpe has in this one.
And the Warriors decide to take their first time out here. We know, Brent, there are many roads that lead to the modern NBA. And Shaedon Sharpe took his own unique path.
Yeah, Kevin, you could say that again. I mean, he was on the Kentucky campus as a player, but never participated in a collegiate game, and then all of a sudden finding himself at the top end of the NBA draft without ever playing a college game. Butler attacking in close. Such a gifted scorer.
Now, here's Sharpe. He's got 22. The rebound by Payton. Outside Butler. Now, here's Lopez. He's tightly guarded. The kick outside to Butler. On the wing, MV. 8 points for him. Butler hits it with traffic.
Forward size with guard handles. Butler showing us how he can manipulate the ball there.
Pass to Avdia. Jimmy Butler with the rebound. Warriors trail by 5. Passes it to Curry. Lopez outside. In the third quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock. Back to Curry. Outside Butler. Avdia with the rebound. Avdia's got 6 rebounds here tonight. And Sharp has it in the corner. And the pass to Simons. Goes up from the top of the key. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls.
The handles right there from Simon. Great job of just creating enough space for him to do the damage.
Lopez kicks to Butler. Back to Lopez. And it's Portland with the rebound. Up top Sharp. Lopez covering. And the wide open shot from Avdia. And another 3 for Portland.
Calling for the ball and then delivering. Nice shot by Avdia.
Curry passes to Lopez. Here's the 3. Rebound by the Trailblazers. Klingen's got rebound number 7 for him tonight.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area.
And that one is stuffed right through.
Making the most of the screen. That's how it's done.
And it's in the perfect spot, Greg. Frees him up to get all the way to the bucket.
Really not enough help there. Lack of communication on the backside.
Butler kicks to Lopez. Will it go? He takes it up and lays it in. Lopez has got 10 points in the game.
Now, I don't know if you would consider this, but he's got such a nice touch around the rim. Maybe you foul him there?
That's a 2 from Simons. And the rebound goes to Lopez.
Well, they shouldn't be giving that shot to anyone, but they certainly shouldn't be giving it to him. That's a big break for the defense.
Lays it up and banks it in. Lopez has got it back down to single digits for the Warriors.
If you give him an inch of space, he's going to make you pay.
Here's Simons. He's got 9. No good that time. And so it's the Portland Trailblazers in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. And they've done a phenomenal job down low. So many of their points coming right at the rim. Back to the action in just a minute. And a quick look now at the State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Well, a great job with the eyes.
Substitution
for the Warriors. Green, he's checked in for Looney. Gary Payton comes in for Moses Moody. Curry's checked in for Hield. And it's Lopez in for Brandon Podziemski. So for the Golden State Warriors right now, Dominguez steps in at the 4 with Green sliding up to center. Stephen Curry's out there with MP. And it's Payton in at the small forward. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Pass to Sharp. Some nice ball movement here by the Trailblazers. Shot clock at 6. The 3. Keeps it alive. And Ayton stays with it.
How about a pivotal hoop from DeAndre Ayton?
Timeout called the Warriors. Shaedon Sharp really making a difference here.
Well, I hope this one is not to draw up a play, but to think about how they're going to defend that man. He's putting up some major numbers.
And now a moment to present the New Balance player of the game, Shaedon Sharp.
Yeah, and his percentage from the field tonight, just amazing. He hadn't just been gunning. He's been picking his spots, and you need that kind of patience and discipline to shoot as well as he had.
Jimmy Butler, he's checked in for Golden State. Henderson against Curry. And the ball out of play. The Warriors will inbound. Avdia's checked in for Walker.
Danny Avdia.
And here's Curry, who brings it up for the Warriors. They've given up just 8 points in the fourth quarter.
2 minutes.
We've got 1:55 left in the game.
How quick was that Curry drive there? The D having no choice but to body him up, trying to make the effort to throw him off, but they end up fouling him.
And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Trailblazers.
I'm in love with how they're moving the basketball all game long, and also their ability to move without the ball. That style just makes it so difficult to defend.
Well, another part of what they've done tonight is to get a lot of work done in the mid-range, and that's a shot that a lot of teams are willing to let you take. Well, they've knocked them down.
It's time now to hear from our Hall of Fame reporter, David Aldridge. What's the latest, David?
Guys, over the break, Chauncey Billups had some advice for his team. Now, with this game up for grabs, Coach told his guys to think positive. He said, "We know this game is ours, fellas. We've earned it. I need you to show me right now that you want this." Can they get it done? We'll see, guys.
Okay, David, much appreciated. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Lopez. Good work there as it goes.
That's an excellent play call to free him up from the defense.
Well, taking advantage of that opportunity, it does not get any more high percentage than that one.
Here's Sharp. Warriors with the rebound. Payton's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Butler finds Lopez. Back to Butler. MP deciding where to go with it. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
Shooting for Golden State.
And he cannot get the first one to drop. Tough one to miss. And he misses the second one as well, so he's 0 for 2 that time. Top Sharp, defended by Payton. And it's Sharp missing. Here's the Warriors with the ball. They trail by 1. Green, the pass to Payton. Here's Lopez. 36 seconds left here in the 4th quarter.
Good job on the glass there, working hard to establish position and put himself in a great spot to come away with that rebound.
It's in!
He's a guy that lives for a big moment like that. Great focus and courage in the clutch.
Can't afford any wasted possessions down the stretch.
Nope. Every opportunity here have to have flawless execution.
Here's Lopez. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
First personal foul. Shooting for Golden State.
And the first of 2, no good. Heartbreaker. He's able to hit the second one, and that brings them within 2 here. Time called here. The Blazers decide to talk it over. They're leading by 2. 12 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one.
For some T-shirts, here they come. All right, everybody make a little noise. Let's go Blazers.
Here's Henderson, and now they foul and stop the clock.
Yeah, you can't let him hold the ball and just milk those last seconds away.
And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the seconds.
Well, Scoot's got great upside, but the next step for him, the evident one here, is just shooting higher percentages and scoring with more consistency.
Timeout called the Warriors. They're trailing by 3. 11 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
And if you can get a 3, shoot it. Otherwise, get the quick 2 and a 5.
Don't force something up. You got to be smart here.
And here are the Warriors now. It's a 3-point game. Here's Curry. Henderson pulls it in. And they need to stop the clock, so there's a foul.
Stephen Curry. 3rd personal foul.
And no good as the first free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. And he does get the second one. And that gives them a 4-point cushion. And so the big win by Portland in a tight game. Probably a little closer. closer than they would have liked it, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, but I really got the sense that the fans gave them that emotional boost that was needed down the stretch. This crowd, man, they were electric.
And that about does it for the first game of the new NBA season. So for David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and the whole 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for being with us. We'll see you later.
I know you said you just got into it about a year ago, but do you go into it as a single player or do you run with a squad when you play?
Both. I like playing by myself. Sometimes I, challenge myself to get my game a little bit better, sharpen my skills. But I also just love to invite some friends and we'll jump on like the 3v3. And it's just a chill experience. So a little bit of everything, I would say.
Oh, look at that. Get in. No, what the heck was that?
Push. Yes, you got her.
Yeah, let's go.
That was a hell of a run we're putting together.
I think it's a 6-0 run.
Oh,
that was good.
gosh.
No way.
Starting lineups just announced. We're just about set for basketball. We'll be back in a moment.
Walker Kessler.
Time to start the weekend in style. We welcome you to Friday Night Basketball on 2K Sports. This is Brian Anderson. I'm here with Hall of Famers Grant Hill and Doris Burke, our reporter, Allie LaForce. The starters for the Golden State Warriors. We've got Butler. Stephen Curry is out there with Embiid. Then there's Draymond Green. And it's Payton in at the 3. And for Utah, Collins and Kessler there in the middle. Sexton and Markkanen out on the wings. And it's George in at the 1. Well, Doris, we got a clash at the 5 spot here tonight. Can't wait to see these centers go at it.
B.A., there was once a point in history where we were talking about is the 5-man phased out of the game, and all of a sudden now you have several MVPs who occupy the position. It is unequivocally going to be a special matchup tonight.
Sexton against Curry. MP outside. Jacks up with 3. Sexton grabs the board. And so Sexton will bring it up for the Jazz. A chance here to catch up with Allie from the sideline.
Will Hardy gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. I wanted to know how he planned on tackling the Jimmy Butler problem. He told me I want to make everything as hard for him as possible, anything we can do to bother him and to get him to be even a little less aggressive. Trying to put out the fire before it starts. That's the plan. Back to you.
And Allie, thank you for that. And Lopez gets it to go.
First bucket of the evening. Now, both teams are really looking to exploit matchups here.
What's going to be fascinating to watch is which matchups are they willing to go exploit.
And the Jazz with possession here. After the Warriors picking up a basket just a moment ago. And so he draws the foul, headed to the line to shoot a pair. Well, when you talk about the most underrated players in the league, Doris, Sexton has to be in the conversation.
Well, let's begin with the fact that he's an absolutely fearless scorer, a tough competitor, an improved facilitator. There's grit, determination. He's willing to get into you defensively. He is somebody that will compete on the defensive end. Yeah, this is what happens when you give Jimmy Butler a lane. He's going to make you pay.
Here's Sexton, and he drops in the layup off the glass.
Nice dribble move to get to the hoop for an easy 2.
Curry passes to Lopez. On the wing, Payton. Lopez against Sexton. MP left side. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Payton. Over Sexton. Oh, Kessler with the block.
This guy is a constant threat on the defensive end. Send it back, Walker.
And here's Markkanen. 27 points his last game. Here's Sexton, and he goes in for the dunk.
Just great offense. The screen freeing him up for the slam.
Hey, without that screen, he doesn't get a clean look at the rim.
Boy, that's a play you just practice time and time again, and that's the result of the work put in.
Curry passes to Lopez. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Golden State needs to get off a shot. Drops in the 3.
Ideally, you want to chase Stephen Curry off the three-point line, but folks, it is not as easy as you might think.
Markkanen, the pass to Sexton. And finished off by Kessler.
And I'll tell you what, this is a guy who doesn't take a break at all on the boards.
Yeah, doing serious work. He likes being an anchor on the glass.
Well, but his defenders keep forgetting to box him out. He continues to just make them pay.
Here's Butler, following the bucket by Utah. Back to Lopez. And he makes it. Lopez has got his second bucket of the night.
Attacking in the painted area. Clearly that was their game plan coming in.
Timeout called, the Jazz. Doris, I'm going to give you 3 names here. John Stockton, Karl Malone, Pete Maravich. Which one is the greatest player to ever wear a Jazz uniform?
I'm not going greatest player, B.A. I'm going greatest tandem in the history of the Utah Jazz. John Stockton and Karl Malone pick-and-roll play were poetry in motion.
And a new group getting ready for Utah. Filipowski. The Warriors lead by 6. George and Sexton in the backcourt. Filipowski out there with Lauri Markkanen. And it's Kessler in at the 5. That's the group for Utah right now. Lopez can't hit. And so it's Sexton who brings up the ball for Utah. They come into this one having outplayed the Grizzlies last time.
Yeah, and that one came down to their rebound. There was a big gap between the 2 teams there.
That was a coach's dream, to get that kind of effort and intensity on the glass, and for it to pay those kinds of dividends, critical.
And so it's Golden State with it. The Jazz making their last shot. Up top, Podziemski. Butler finds Payton. 5 to shoot. And they turn it over. Shot clock violation as the buzzer sounds. And with a pause in the action, here we have the best rebounding teams from last year. The Warriors, number 1 in the 3rd spot, Utah.
And both of these teams really impressed when it came to rebounding the ball last year. That level of physicality and hustle is always great to see.
Stephen Curry, he's checked in for the Warriors. George feels it out a bit. The shot no good. Green with the defensive effort. The Warriors lead by 4. Pass to Lopez. And a foul called on the way up. So he'll take 2 from the free throw line. That one on Kessler. All right, guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Warriors?
Well, in today's NBA, the three-point shot is so valuable. They realize this, and that's why they're continuing to drain as many as they can.
Yeah, and in addition, their ball movement has really unleashed their offense. Boy, they've been fun to watch.
Now here's George. In his last outing, 16 points for him. Markkanen inside. Guarded by Payton. Here's George. Rebounded by Green. Golden State has gone 4 of 9 so far from the perimeter. Payton passes to Curry. MP outside. Inside. Butler finds Lopez. Rebounded by the Jazz. Boy, they need something to go to regain some confidence.
No question. Way too many empty possessions for them.
Well, Graham, everyone has the same goal right now, and that's to have a strong start to the season.
No question, B.A. And that can be tough to achieve for teams that might have a new coach. Or if you had a lot of roster changes, teams with continuity tend to have the advantage to start the season.
Now here's Lopez. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Portland. On the wing, MP. He tries for 3. And again, it's the Warriors missing. Jazz trail by 3. All right, for those just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second.
Boy, this guy is a good finisher, so he misses a chippy. That's tough to take.
Butler passes to Lopez. Floats one. And he gets it to fall. 3 for 8 in this one.
When you use it right, the pump fake's as effective a move as there is.
For Utah, they've got nothing to go out of 5 attempts so far this quarter. Lopez with the steal. And they're on the run. Here's Butler. Good, and the assist goes to MP. Lopez has got 3 assists now in this one.
This guy, a tough cover for any defender. Creative and assertive scoring the ball.
Here in the second quarter, just under 3.5 minutes played. George passes to Kessler. Curry against George. Pass to Markkanen. Beyond the arc. The shot no good. The Warriors lead by 7. What growth from Lauri Markkanen, Doris. The 2023 Most Improved Player Award winner.
Yeah, you think about it. Markkanen entered the league at just 20 years of age. You forget how young these guys are sometimes. But Markkanen finds a great situation where he's a featured part of an offense, and then he makes an all-star team.
Time called here. The Jazz decide to talk it over.
That's a good timeout. They just can't hit anything.
Sometimes it just feels like misses become contagious. He wants to settle his guys down right now.
So both teams changing it up here. Here's Clarkson. Over Moody. Blocked. Butler up top. Collins defending. Here's Moody. Oh, serious gut check points from Moody.
He hasn't been quick enough to react to the ball inside. That's helped cause this run.
Pass to Collier. And he lobs it up top. Tries to keep it alive. And here comes the break. Here's Lopez. And the Warriors tack on 2 more.
And taking a look at this first half, they've just shown better shot selection.
And I think obviously we see the execution and the willingness to make the next pass so important.
Now here's Kessler. Ooh, nothing falling for them right now. We've got 1:13 left in the second quarter. Kuminga, the pass to Lopez.
Hey, yo, right here.
5 on the clock. Doesn't go that time. Jazz trail by 13. Clarkson. Here's Collier. from 7 feet away. Second chance shot. And he sinks the layup. Collier's got 5 now.
Oh, Walker Kessler showing you his passing ability. Nicely done.
The Warriors lead by 11. 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Lopez with it. 9 points in the game. Oh, Kessler with the block. Clarkson outside. They've got numbers. Moody, good. Moody's got 4 points this quarter.
Great teamwork on that drive, punctuated by a strong finish.
Going right to the rim, which is where you want transition opportunities to end.
And so it's the Golden State Warriors.
The Jazz, 24. The Warriors, 35. Fans, please, a big round of applause for your Jazz Youth Dance Team.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the rout that it's threatening to be. Jazz trail by 11. On the floor for the Warriors. Stephen Curry is out there with MP. Then there's Butler. Then there's Gary Payton II. And it's Green. And Markkanen hammers home the lob.
And Markkanen, a big-time athlete. Send that lob up in the air and he'll finish.
Lopez against Sexton. Oh, trying his luck from deep. Lopez can't hit. And for the Jazz, they're shooting around 35% from the field so far. George drives in. Outside for Sexton. No good on the triple. And it's Butler with the ball for Golden State. Looking to get it going. The rebound by Markkanen. Second half getting started. About a minute played. George outside. Pass to Kessler. Yes, and it's George picking up the assist. Kessler's got 6.
We are talking 7 foot, 245 pounds. You better be able to finish it, Mr. Kessler.
Here's Curry. Oh, a strong finish from Curry.
Probably a play they drew up in the locker room at half.
Well, there is nothing better than catching a rhythm as early as possible. And boy, that's a terrific start right there.
Butler against Collins. On the wing, Sexton. Second chance effort. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Give him 8 points now.
You love this. The pressure gets physical, and Colin Sexton doesn't blink. Nice job finishing through contact.
Curry finds Butler. MP outside. Utah grabs the miss. Kessler's got his 7th rebound here tonight.
Boy, as slow a start as you could have. Just 1 for 4 from the field. They're struggling.
And just a lack of fight right now on the defensive end.
Right? At least on that slam it was. That's one way to let a team back in the game.
Right. You could see on that possession, one side playing with a little desperation, the other side losing focus.
Time called here. The Warriors decide to talk it over. Endorse some use of turf.
Substitution on the court.
Here's Filipowski. Outside Sexton. George outside. Sends it home from three-point land. And the Jazz lead by 11.
And there's a nice rhythm to his three-point shot. You know, George has a confident stroke.
Sexton and Markkanen out on the wings. Walker Kessler out there with Filipowski. And it's George in at the 1. That's the 5 on the floor for the Jazz. And the foul is called. He missed it, so he's got a couple of free throws coming his way.
Well, make no mistake, Draymond Green will bully you on the interior if you allow it. You've got to make sure he doesn't force the issue.
So neither attempt will fall that time for him. Doris, this has been a good few years for teams from small markets, don't you think?
I certainly do, Brian. I mean, think about some of the most exciting players we have in the league. They're young, but they are captivating. Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in Oklahoma City. Giannis has been in Milwaukee his entire career. The list goes on.
They've shown the power inside. Their rebounding effort has been sensational.
Pass to George. And he's going for the lob. And finished off by Kessler.
Exactly where Kessler gets so much of his offensive performance done. Right at the cup.
Here's Curry. Offensive struggles continue. Missing again. Jazz leading by 15. Here's Sexton. And there's a whistle. He'll head to the line to shoot two. That's on Gary Payton II. You know, Grant, looking at the career of Colin Sexton, he had a huge third season. Averaged 24 a game.
Yeah, B.A. And unfortunately, Colin hurt his knee early during his fourth year. Had season-ending surgery, but we've seen Sexton make a full comeback and just a dynamic scoring guard.
And again, it's the Warriors missing.
He is just not taking smart shots out there. A pattern he has fallen into tonight.
Good on the bucket.
You know, I've got to say, defensively, the effort simply hasn't been there this half. They've got to pick up their energy.
Timeout called, the Warriors.
Coach really needs to get his guys fired up and attacking the glass. They're not putting up much of a fight, and it's led to way too many second-chance shots.
Let's take a moment to present the New Balance Player of the Game, Colin Sexton.
Can you say vintage? Wow, this was a vintage performance. I mean, so much of the game is about the three ball today, but his focus was going hard into the paint and doing damage from inside.
I'll tell you what, for him, it doesn't get much better than this. Putting on an absolute clinic while the home fans went wild. And it's time for an injury report. And let's get an update here on John Collins' injury. Allie, any news?
Hey guys, the head athletic trainer of the Jazz was able to update me on the situation. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound good at all. He's likely going to be out for a while. Obviously a terrible way to start the season. The good news, though, plenty of time left to figure things out for them.
Okay, thanks for the update. Good to get that information. Now we know how things are coming along, Grant.
That's true. It's the uncertainty factor with injuries that can be so hard to handle.
There's no question, because even if you know what's wrong, individuals have different healing times. The time frames can be totally different for similar injuries.
Oh, there's the alley! And Kuminga throws it down.
Now, the gravity of Stephen Curry allows for him to find open teammates, and boy, does he relish the chance.
1:52 left to play in the fourth quarter. Here's George. Rebounded by Green. Green's got his fifth rebound in this one. On the wing, MP. Soft touch off the glass.
Well, defensively, to me, you've got to do a better job communicating once the screen comes.
George passes to Sexton. That one's off. Still out of sync.
Got the ball where he wanted it, but then got swarmed.
Green. And it's hammered home by Green.
How easy is it to appreciate the intensity with which Draymond Green plays? Go ahead with power, sir.
And this is a game they can build off of. They kept their focus all game long, and it will get marked as a win for the Jazz.
And the huge difference today, the efficiency from beyond the arc.
Yeah, once they started hitting shots, it stretched out the D and opened up the entire offense.
And this one concludes with their second victory of the year.
Always good to start a season series off with a W. They showed tonight they take this team seriously, and the next two matchups between these two should be fun.
And of all the highlights and performances we've seen here tonight, the one thing that stands out is what an unbelievable night it's been for Colin Sexton.
This guy has been shot-making all night long. He commands the rock and takes over.
Here's Kessler. And yes, it's good. He's 7 for 8 now.
Their home crowd has energized them all game. Now they're closing it out.
Well, for all intents and purposes, this game is over. Just a matter of time here.
On the wing, MP. Checked by Sexton. Here's Lopez. That one a little long. Sexton against Lopez. Now here's Sexton. And so it's Utah easily grabbing this one. Even early on in this game, they appeared happy to be playing at home.
And it makes a huge difference. Once they started to get into a groove, you never really felt like they wouldn't come out on top.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Allie LaForce, Grant Hill, and Doris Burke, I'm Brian Anderson saying thanks for tuning in. So long, everybody.